Welcome back to the Black Sports Network and our Women in Sports series. What's up, y'all? This is Brianna DeBose. I am here with S.A. Ighedosa. She is the House of Athlete president. She is an attorney for sports and entertainment. She worked at the NFL. She worked at the Carolina Panthers. She's doing some phenomenal work. I'm very excited to interview with you today and hear more about your story and the awesome work that you're doing at House of Athlete. S.A., thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump right into this. What are 3 words that describe S.A. Ighedosa?
Oh, that's a good question. To just keep it on brand, I would say unapologetic, bold, and convicted. I'm very convicted.
Ooh, please elaborate. I want to hear more about why you chose these words in particular.
Yeah, I just think, when you are a Black woman, you often feel like you have to apologize for your personality. You have to apologize for your sauce. The same sauce that white girls get paid to sell, you have to apologize for it.
Yes.
So I've decided to stop apologizing for my sauce.
I love it.
And bold, between me being 6 feet, me changing my hair every 2 seconds, to me always being the first person to raise my hand in a classroom, in a meeting, I'm just bold. I have something to say and I want people to hear what I have to say. And so I try to be as bold as possible, even when I feel like an imposter in the room. It's almost been my weapon to fight the imposter syndrome. So that's how I define myself as bold. And convicted, I feel convicted about a few things, but I'm so convicted. Like, I walk in that, I feel it. It eats me up. Like, I feel like I have to say something. I have to do something because I feel convicted about the things that I stand for, the things that I believe in. And anyone that knows me, that works with me, it doesn't take long to sense my sense of conviction, to feel my sense of conviction. I want equality. I want Black women to be seen. I want fairness. I went to law school to advocate, to give a voice to the voiceless. And I hope that everything that I do, it works towards that. So I feel strongly about the things I feel strongly about.
Ooh, I think you just set the tone for this entire interview. I love it. And you are an HBCU grad. I forgot to say that. You are an HBCU grad. So yes, just feeling so convicted, just owning everything and every part of who you are. I love that. And that's a perfect segue into my next question for you. When you think of legacy and what, who you want to be in the future, what do you think about and why?
That's a deep
one. I know. I tried to balance them out. We go back and forth. We go back and forth.
Okay, yeah, because I need a softball soon.
I got you.
When I think about legacy, I think about it often. My dad and my mom, they always talked about legacy, even without saying the word, right? Like, they always talked about what they wanted to leave behind in the community, in the spaces that they occupy. So I think for me, I think about my legacy as one, hopefully helping to open up doors for Black women in sports, right? Black women lawyers in sports. And not just Black women with the freedom to be themselves, because there have certainly been Black women and women of color in sports, but I don't know if we've been given the freedom to be ourselves. Yeah. And so I think hopefully with the way that I have tried to go about my career and me occupying this space in sports unapologetically myself, right? Like, there's power in being in line next to the commissioner in the cafeteria at the NFL league office, and he's like, wow, I love your hair. I like the last style too last week, but I like this one too. Like there's power in that because hopefully he's not as unaware or as uncomfortable, right? Because he built a relationship with me. I gave him the space to ask me questions about my hair, but also teach him lessons about how to ask those questions. So I hope that what I've left behind is more space for us to be free, to be ourselves in sports. Because a lot of times we do get into the room, but then we feel like we have to be invisible to maintain our seat, to maintain the pass that we've gotten to be in the room. And I don't want that. I want us to be in those rooms and be ourselves and be our best selves. And you're only your best self if you are being true to yourself. So that's the legacy that I hope to leave, you know, whenever people look back on the few things that I've done.
You have quite the resume, so do not let her fool y'all. Like, do not let her fool y'all. But that's amazing. You know, bringing your authentic self as Black women has been something we've grappled with forever, since the dawn of time. Like, how much of myself do I show? What do, you know, hair, makeup, everything, how we portray ourselves in the boardroom, everything. And that matters. And so I'm happy that you are taking up space and bringing other Black women along with you and being able to just kind of break these barriers and continue moving forward. So I love that. Now, on a lighter note, you are doing some really cool work. Okay. You're doing some really cool work over at House of Athlete, this phenomenal, you know, lifestyle wellness brand. Did my research, doing some really cool things over there and growing so much. Now, please walk me through the moments deciding to work with House of Athlete. You know, what was going through your mind, and, you know, were you involved in the creative process? How did this come about? Because you were working at the NFL and you're an attorney and all of that. So how did you become the president of House of Athlete? Like, please tell us how that went down.
It was quite the process. So I've known Brandon Marshall, who is the CEO and founder of House of Athlete. I've known him since I was an intern with Info Film. Met him when I was interning at Pro Bowl in Hawaii. And over the years, you know, we would see each other and just keep in contact. I had him speak on a few panels for me at the NFL and at the Panthers. And then I started seeing what he was doing. And I have always kind of had the entrepreneurial bug. Like I've always wanted to be more than a lawyer. I've always wanted to be in a creative world. I have a million ideas, and being a traditional lawyer, no one really cares about your creative ideas. They just want you to, they want you to protect them and keep them in line and help them sue people. Exactly. And I'm like, no, but like, I got ideas.
Yeah.
So
like, let's get these to the table.
Exactly. So when I started seeing what Brandon was doing, you know, we started talking, and I was like, okay, you need my help because you need to button this up. Like, you need, like, let me just help you because I want to, I want to protect you from people that don't have your best interests at heart. And also, like, this looks cool. Like, I want to help you build this. One of my passions, and I always wanted to get to the point where I can use what I've learned in the NFL and actually help Black athletes achieve their goals off the field. So this was like a perfect opportunity for me. So during the 2019 season, was kind of helping him on the side on the weekends, like looking over things, vetting people, just being a sounding board for him. And then I told him, I was like, look, I think I'm ready to leave the NFL. I want to bet on myself. I want to do more. I want to do something different. And he didn't believe me. He did not believe me. And he was like, you're not going to leave. Like, no, you need to stay. You need the NFL. And I'm like, no, I don't. The NFL, and that's why I'm leaving, because I'm tired of feeling like I needed the NFL. I want the NFL to feel like they need me. So I started kind of like going through the process, you know, was talking to a few companies, had a few offers on the table. And then he was like, wait. Okay, well, if you're really going to leave, then you need to come here to House of Athlete. It's like, come help me build this thing. And, you know, it was the scariest decision on the table. And that's why I took it, because
Wow.
I went with what scared me the most,
Yeah.
because I knew I felt stifled. I knew I wanted to be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly the option that scares me the most is probably going to give me the biggest challenge.
Right.
And been here ever since. And it's been
Wow.
an amazing journey. And I've probably gotten an MBA in less than a year with everything that we're doing and building.
Yes, I love all of that, especially, because you're always going to be an attorney. Like you got your
Yeah.
degree, you are always going to be an attorney. That will be something that you will be able to do for the rest of your life if
Yep.
you choose to do so. I love that you kind of just leapt and just was like, all right, I'm going to do this. It's super
I'm gonna do it.
scary, scared out of my life. I'm going to do this because it's dope and let's see where it goes.
And
And
now's the time to do it.
yes,
There's never this perfect moment where you're like, okay, now's the time to do something
right.
wild, risky. Like there's never going to be a
Yeah,
perfect time. There's
not
always
at
going to
all.
be a reason to do what's safe. So I was like, look, I'm in a transition. You
Hmm.
know, I don't have any kids right now. Like if I probably had kids or husband or something, or really like major commitments,
Right.
I
Set
probably
down
would
some
just stay
roots.
safe. So I'm like, let
Right.
me do this now when if I fall on my face, it's just
Hmm.
me. I don't have
Hmm.
anyone dependent on me. So
Hmm.
it worked out.
So it worked out. And I saw that picture that you did with Cam Newton the other day. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yes, it worked out. And it looked like he got a workout. So there's that.
Yeah. It's
Um,
funny. I told him, I said, look, because we hadn't talked in a while. And I
yeah,
was like, look, you left the Panthers. I told him I gotta go too. Like
facts.
there's no Cam without Essay. There's no Essay without Cam. So
Right.
we laughed about that.
Yeah, shoot, why not? And now he's at your facility working out. I ain't mad. I am not mad at y'all. Now, tell me, on a day-to-day, what brings you the most joy about what you do? It seems like obviously it's just radiating off the screen right now with the passion that you have for this project and obviously your entrepreneurial spirit, but like on a day-to-day, what brings you the most joy being a part of this?
Oh, and there's so many things. Honestly, it's the challenges. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be challenged. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be stretched. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're building really 4 different companies at once right
Wow.
now.
Please tell us more.
And and that's exciting. So
Yeah.
we have our brick and mortar fitness facility.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Which is
one
beautiful.
currently, which is beautiful. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
We have an apparel line, a House of
Yes.
Athlete apparel that
Mm-hmm.
Mishi Marshall, Brandon's wife, designed.
Mm-hmm.
We have a nutritional supplement line, so everything from
Mm-hmm.
protein to
Mm-hmm.
rest supplements to mental fitness supplements. And then
Yes.
we have our production company that produces I Am Athlete.
Mm.
So 4 different companies,
Yes.
and I am playing a big role in bringing all those things to life. And so
Yes.
that brings me joy, because
Mm-hmm.
the NFL is going to be there with or without
Absolutely.
me or anyone else,
For
right?
sure.
If the commissioner quits tomorrow, the NFL is still going to be the
It's
NFL,
gonna keep rolling.
and that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings me joy to build something that can be just as great as the
Mm-hmm.
NFL. Like,
Absolutely.
what if we are the next Amazon? What if we
Mm.
are the next Airbnb? What if we
Mm-hmm.
are the next? I believe
Yes.
that we are. Brandon does too.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me joy. Even in the darkest moments and the worst
Mm-hmm.
moments, there's challenges every day. But it's like, damn, this is probably what Jeff Bezos felt like,
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and like what Mark Zuckerberg, like these are the storms. And if you can
Yes.
weather this storm in 10 years, 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
20, like we're going to be it. We're going to be writing books about how we built this thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's joy.
Wow. Yes. I love all of that because you do have to weather a lot of storms, especially in the entrepreneurship space. It's a lot
Yes.
sometimes, and you all are doing some awesome work. I mean, anybody that's listening to this, please check out House of Athlete. When I clicked on the page, I was like, yo, this spot is crazy.
Yeah.
Just,
It's great.
the top tier fitness equipment, everything that's going on. It brings me to the point of just like holistic wellness. I love holistic practices. I love holistic wellness. And it seems like you all are literally embodying that, and especially within the sports space, it's so crucial because there's more than just, it's way more than just playing in the game,
It is.
it's so much more. It's your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, how you look, how you feel, all of that kind of coincides with this experience. Now, with to everybody who's listening, to athletes who may be listening to this, why should athletes be prioritizing these holistic practices within sports? And why is the work that you're doing, particularly at House of Athlete, so significant? And obviously, 10 years when we look back at this, you're gonna be like, yo, I told you so.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, you can't only treat one part of your body, one part of, what you're doing. So you have to talk about your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be the fastest, but if you're depressed, if you're not sleeping because you're stressed, or you can't deal with issues going on at home, like, it doesn't matter, right?
Absolutely.
So much of playing sports is mental. You can be the fastest in the world, but if you don't believe you're the fastest, if you don't trust your skill set, if you don't trust, your surroundings. So we preach it has to be a 360 approach.
Yes.
You can't just come in here and want to lose weight. You can't just come in here and want to get faster or stronger. You have to want to treat your mind. And we call it mental fitness, because it's just as important as physical fitness. You have to be mentally fit to be at your best. And athletes are under so much pressure.
Yes.
Like, you can be making $1 million, but if 1 million people have their hand out, once you get that check, how are you going to deal with that? That's stressful. A lot of athletes don't come from money. So not only do you have to perform on the biggest stages in the world, you also have to get by day to day. And so we preach that. Sure. So on Wednesdays at our facility, we don't do fitness. You cannot come in and work out. You can only come in and do yoga, mindful meditation, or you can use our wet room and recover in our steam room, our sauna, our cold tub, and our hot tub. That's it. The music is lower. You're going to hear some Sade. You come on a Tuesday or Thursday, you're going to hear some Future. You're going to hear some Lil Baby. Yeah. You come on a Wednesday, it's Sade. It's
No Ordinary Love.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Because you have to have a day to recover, not just physically, but mentally. And you have to treat your mind just as well as you treat your body. And Brandon, he embodies that. He's had his own journey with mental health and mental fitness. And so he knows that you can be at the top of your game and still not be well. You can be winning. You can be the wide receiver number one. But if your mind isn't right, if your spirit isn't settled, it doesn't matter how much money you make or how much success you have on the field or on the court. So we preach that, and we try to live by it every day. We're actually also going to be launching mental fitness classes. So just like you come in and do a fitness class, a physical fitness class, you can come in and we literally will have a mental fitness coach, and the whole class is just mental fitness. That's it. So we're super excited about that. And we try to live and breathe that in every aspect of what we do.
Absolutely. Mental health is so important. Holistic wellness is so crucial. I think back to my playing days, playing basketball, Division I athlete. It's like you go through the ringer. And now if you tack on an extra layer of that, right, you've beat the 99% out, and you're now a professional athlete. You're at the top of your game, trying to just make sense of everything that's going on, from finances to your body to just everybody critiquing you. And, there's so many trolls on the internet and all of that. It's so crucial to be able to practice these things so that you're prepared for them, especially, in my own research, I talk about it, but just like the athlete transition and making sure that you're talking to former athletes. I know Brandon's probably talked to you about that. Like, yo, let me get some of my former teammates in here, because people grapple with the experience and don't know how to handle it and don't know how to go about, those next stages in their life after they're done playing sports. So I love that. I love the work that you all are doing. I think it's going to be so impactful. It's already impactful, but when we jump to 10 years, I know it's going to be like, we're going to see House of Athlete, little pockets here, House of Athlete Chicago, House of Athlete LA, House of Athlete Milan, all of it. It's just going to be all over the world, because it matters. It's so crucial. And we see the negative effects if these things aren't addressed, So
absolutely.
I want to pivot a little bit this year has been a lot. This past year that we've had of 2020 and now to 2021 extended. We've had the pandemic, we've had social injustices, we've had the election. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, it's been draining. And I kind of just want to check in. I want to check in with everybody that I speak to. How are you doing? What drives you to get through your day despite everything that's kind of going on? I know you love the challenge of your job, but when it's all said and done, when you're done for the day, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you driving for success and all of the different things that you have to go through?
Yeah. My family, my nieces and my nephews are like my world. I'm like the auntie with the mostest. So,
Aw.
especially the girls, like my two nieces and my goddaughter, like I want them to see me
Mhm.
succeed because
Mhm.
when they see me do well,
Mhm.
like I want them to feel like they have endless possibilities. And
Wow.
that means so much to me.
Mhm.
So, that drives me when I feel like giving up. I get an email from a young Black woman
Yeah.
or a DM like, hey, I want to work in sports. I've seen what you're doing and I didn't know this was
Yes.
possible, but now I do. That's what
Yes.
drives me because it's
Mhm.
bigger than me. I've
Mhm.
been given the opportunity to do some amazing things and to
Mhm.
work in an industry that's really hard to get into.
Mhm.
So when I'm tired, I realize all the people that are dependent on me to keep going because if they
Yes.
see me, then they can
Mhm.
be me and hopefully they can be better
Mhm.
than me. So that's what drives me because I feel like there's an opportunity to give so many more women that look like me, that come from the places that I come from,
Yes.
to do what I'm doing and to
Mhm.
hopefully do it even bigger and better. So
Mhm.
that's really what drives me. It's been definitely a tough year for me personally,
Mhm.
professionally, but there's so much to accomplish. And I'm
Yes.
really excited and honored to have the opportunity to hopefully lead the way.
Yes. You've talked thus far in this interview, you've talked a lot about, bringing more women along with you, bringing more Black women, being a role model, to your nieces and all of that, which I think is phenomenal. This interview will air during Women's History Month, right?
Mhm.
A month that oftentimes does not highlight Black women enough and all the beautiful intersections that we have to offer,
Mm,
right? When you think
yes.
of celebrating Women's History Month, what stands out to you in your mind that is part of our history that you can relate to?
I mean, I think about the Shirley Chisholms of the world. Like I think
Mhm.
about, the Black women
Mhm.
that just just go unseen.
Mhm.
Like there's so many Black women behind the scenes. We don't even know their name, but
Mhm.
they're behind the scenes. Like we don't
Yes.
give Coretta Scott King
Mhm.
enough credit. Right. There's
Mhm.
no MLK without Coretta. There
Mhm.
was somebody there at the table helping him write those speeches, helping him
Oh, for sure.
strategize.
Mhm.
And it was Black women,
Yes.
right? And so I think about just the great things that we've done. Even the women, I stand on their shoulders, like
Mhm.
Kimberly Fields at the
Mhm.
National Football League. She
Mhm.
went through a lot of things, so I don't have to go through them. So I
Mhm.
stand on her shoulders. I have an appreciation for,
Mhm.
all the that the women that came before me do. And
Mhm.
like you said, this intersectionality, it doesn't get enough attention. So when
Yes.
I hear the word woman, I don't necessarily hear my
Mhm.
name.
Mhm.
I don't hear my sister's name when I hear
Mhm.
Black women, okay? Because we
Mhm.
have a nuanced experience that needs to
Yes.
be addressed and it
Mhm.
needs nurturing and it needs
Mhm.
attention. And so we have to talk about intersectionality.
We have
Saying
to.
women is not enough. All
Mm-mm.
of our experiences are not equal, and there are
Mm-mm.
levels to this
Mm-mm.
word oppression. And
Mm.
we're on a different level, right? And
Mhm.
every woman has their struggles no matter what their background is. But
Mhm.
like you said, Black women have to be
Mhm.
lifted up because we are certainly the source of so much of
Yes.
this country's success.
Mhm.
We literally saved the democracy. Okay. Like literally Black women saved the democracy. Stacey Abrams, like she
The
needs to
whole
be in
time.
every textbook. She needs to be in
Everyone.
every
Mhm.
textbook in the
Mhm.
future. Like that's it. And she did that with still being passed over, losing bullshit ass elections,
Mm.
right? And she still didn't give up. But that's the tenacity and the resilience of Black women that do
Mhm.
that. We
Mhm.
could easily turn turn our shoulder against this country because this country has not done well to us,
Mhm.
but we don't.
But we
We say,
don't.
you know what? Let's roll up our sleeves and save this country, despite this country not loving me like she should. And that's Black women for you. And so that's what we should celebrate in this month.
Yes. Yes to all of that. Yes to everything. Being a Black woman, we're a double minority, excuse me. And there has to be, like you said, you have to address every different level that kind of comes with, because it's important. One, I mean, it's important by itself. And two, you have to notice this within the experience and beyond, because only at that point will we be able to kind of move towards a more equitable society, right? Everybody's kind of been talking about diversity and inclusion this year, which is great. But what are you doing to address the intersections? And what are you doing on the action side of those words? So it's very, very crucial. And, it's necessary. It's necessary work to be done. So I'm happy that we're doing this interview because we are a part of the intersection. So shout out to us.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thus far in your career, I'm kind of interested in learning more about this, because you've had quite a career. Thus far in your career, what is your proudest moment? Do you and do you have any advice to young women kind of coming behind you who want to be entrepreneurs and leaders in the sports space?
Oh, my proudest moment. I mean, I definitely think, I helped start the Black Engagement Network at the National Football League. So it was the Black Employee Resource Group. And it was at a time when, and this was in 26, like you barely said the word Black, like literally it was like, oh, people of color, it's very PC. So even just putting the word Black in the name, as intentional as it was also like revolutionary, because it made people so uncomfortable with Black Lives Matter and all of that. So I think, starting that and leading that for 2 years before I left to go to the Panthers was a huge, a huge honor, because there were so many Black people that worked at the NFL that did not feel seen, that did not feel like they had a space, that did not feel like they had a voice. And Ben was the start of that. And there's so much more work to be done.
Absolutely.
But I just can't imagine even where the Black employees would be if Ben wasn't in place when George Floyd happened, And so to see that it's still thriving and growing and becoming way better than I could have ever imagined, that's a huge honor. And really, it makes me just happy, because I know what it was like when I started there and how isolating it could be. And I hope that, the Black employees that join the National Football League now, they have a better experience than I did when I started.
Absolutely. I love that. Oh, I love all of it. So much pride. Phenomenal work being done. My last question for you is, you are the president of your organization. How have you kind of met the moment this year with all of the challenges due to COVID-19 and having to pivot to virtual platforms for some things? What's to come for House of Athlete in the future? Like, I'm so excited. It seems like you are doing, really, really well. And I know that you all are cooking up something over there for the future. So what's to come?
A lot.
I know. Please tell us what's going on.
We have so much planned. So we are open, but it's COVID. So we're doing smaller groups for general population fitness. But we've worked so hard to create a safe environment, a clean environment for our members and our athletes. We call our members athletes because everybody's an athlete in their own way. And so we're super excited about continuing to grow our fitness facilities, opening up in LA, Dallas, Miami, eventually, every major market, hopefully. So super excited there. We have some very cool digital fitness things coming soon that we'll be announcing in the near future. As more people are working from home. So super excited to, engage those athletes at home as well. We also have our apparel line, which dropped, and it's just, this is just like the first of amazing high-end athleisure.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is made overseas. And so we're like beyond excited for what's to come
Yes.
with our apparel as well. And then our content, we have so much dope content coming soon. We have a Drive to the Path series. So we have about 22 guys that are training for the combine and ultimately training for the draft at our facility. So we're going to be documenting that entire experience with our amazing athletes. I Am Athlete just continues to get better and better. We have some very exciting guests coming on the show, soon. So everything is rolling. Like we want to be disruptors. We want to disrupt every industry that we're in. Like, and we're doing it on our own terms, on athlete. It's athlete owned. It's for us and it's by us. And that alone, like you asked me what excites me, that excites me. Like disrupting excites me. Like like tell us what the rules are. We're going to go over here and do it differently because that's just how we're wired. And we don't abide by any rules. We make our own rules. And so, those are some of the things we have planned, but it's a lot of exciting things and some cool partnerships coming up as well. But COVID has definitely made it very challenging, especially when you talk about brick and mortar and fitness. But we just continue to be creative. We built this amazing facility and we make it as safe as possible to come in and get your workout because it's so important to maintain your health, especially during times like this where people aren't as active. You're not leaving home. So come here, get your workout in, get a smoothie, get a massage, get some, get some skin treatment, get in the hot tub, the cold tub. We have all of that for you. So we're excited.
Yes. I mean, quite a few athletes have kind of like given their seal of approval for House of Athletes. So there is zero doubt in my mind that you all will be just fine. Especially, post COVID, it's like business is booming.
Yes, that's the plan. That's the plan. We can just weather the storm, which we knew, right? We built this facility during COVID. We knew that it was not going to be easy out the gate. But Brandon and I were like, look, if we can weather this COVID storm, on the other side of this, like we're going to win because so many companies aren't going to make it through COVID. But we are, like, we're committed to. So we're like, we are like ready for a post-COVID world because we're building this thing. So once COVID is in the rearview mirror, which is hopefully soon, we're going to be ready with multiple facilities and it's about to be lit.
Yes, it already looks lit, y'all. I'm telling you, go to the Instagram page. It already looks lit. Like I want to go and visit.
Yes, everybody come visit us.
Like pull up.
Open.
Yes. Those are my questions for you, but I have some quick fire questions to kind of end the interview. They're short questions you have to answer with one sentence or one word or less. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. You ready? You good?
I think I'm ready. I don't know.
All right. Where's your favorite place to travel?
Jamaica.
Ooh. What is the most fun work trip that you've been on?
Ooh, the most fun work trip? I would say Pro Bowl, my first Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
Oh, Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
I was there for 7 days. I was broke, but it was lit.
It's like we here, but like, yo, that's so dope. What is your, what's your go-to like food place in Florida? I know you're down south right now. I'm all about the eats.
Ooh,
what's your go-to spot?
I have a really cool taco spot. I live in Las Olas, so I go to El Camino.
Okay.
Margaritas, all the different craft flavors and amazing food, but it's just like a dope vibe in there. Ooh. I also love Bar One, which is Black owned by Peter Thomas.
Yes.
And when I feel like traveling to Miami, that's my go-to spot is Bar One. El Camino is right around the corner, so I can get my taco fix and my margarita fix. Probably more margaritas than tacos, but
always got to have the margarita, hands down.
Yeah.
What is the best advice that you've ever been given?
Run your own race. Run your own race. Professor Washington at FAMU College of Law, she said, run your own race. And it's so true.
Oh, and we're just going to leave it at that because that's so good. I was like, no, I'm not even going to follow up with that. That's so good. I mean, honestly, it's all about having tunnel vision, running your own race, not focusing on what other people have to do or what they're saying or whatever, because especially entrepreneurs, like everyone's always gonna be like, yo, you a little, like, what's going on? That's crazy that what y'all are doing.
Why aren't you doing what this person's doing? Why aren't you doing what that person's doing?
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So we're going to leave it at that. That is our episode for our Women in Sports series here at Black Sports Network. My name is Brianna DeBose. I just had the honor of interviewing the fantastic S.A. Ighedosa. She is phenomenal. Go visit House of Athlete. I can't wait for this interview to air. And thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thank you for having me. This was amazing.
Absolutely.